Hey, it's your girl, Stacy Bullock, host of Tools for Everyday Living. Oh my goodness, I was just backstage talking to our guest and saying how I hadn't been here live for a couple of weeks. I missed you all, but I know that you all did not miss a beat. You kept watching, you kept showing up. And the reruns, oh my goodness, they were some awesome shows. But as always, we have an awesome show for you today. Look, I want first, before we delve into the show and bring our guest on, I just want to warm you up a little bit for the moments that we are getting ready to experience on this from this fabulous show. So look, we're talking about the role of the Black woman in the music industry, right? But let's just talk about the Black woman for a moment. This you could take off the word Black if you want and just think about it from a woman's standpoint. I was looking at this book as I was studying about this show, and it's called The Strong Black Woman. And it gives such a unraveling of the word usage that we are choosing for today's woman. And I am so excited that this thing revealed so many things to me that I had not recognized, that I had not accepted. But guess what? But I have seen them before. I have quietly understood them before. But I want to talk about this mantra of strong Black woman and the words fierce that come along with that. Sometimes, we want to say, oh, she's fierce, or she is, this woman of just goes after whatever it is that she wants. But we have to be sure that when we utilize these words, that we have a clear understanding as to what we are emitting into the atmosphere. The word fierce has such a negative connotation to it. And these are just tools that, Stacy likes to talk about on Tools for Everyday Living. That's why we're here, right? Tools for everyday living. But the word fierce could come across as aggressive, untamed, undomesticated, physically violent, threatening. We have seen these words on today's TV shows, and they are not something that I personally, as a Black woman, prefer to be considered with. I prefer words like peaceful and merciful and cordial, kind, friendly, cultured, steady, unmovable. That just gave me made me feel good. These words are things that we need to begin to omit out into the atmosphere when we talk about the Black woman and her contributions. What this does, I'm hoping what this will do, this conversation today will begin to put it within you questions that you begin to say, wait a minute, well, is that a good thing for me? Or should I be willing to change the narrative? Should I be willing to not accept the things that we see on a daily basis, but be responsible for making a change? Yep, I've talked long enough. Our guest today is someone who is making a change, a young lady who is making a change. She is a Cal State University student, where I met her on the campus at a music and jazz art festival. Oh my goodness. This young lady is phenomenal. Born in Inglewood, California, has her own production company, Honey Productions. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to bring her on the screen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome with us, Miss Alexis Green.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. That just put a huge smile on my face.
Well, that's why we are here. We are here to not just, give people tools, but tools that will make you smile every day. I'm so happy that you're here with us, but I don't want to forget, first and foremost, I just want to express how grateful I am for this platform, for this show, for the guests that come here, for you all that watch on a consistent basis. Thank you. Thank you. I am grateful for this platform, and I always want to make sure that I let you all know that. But we want to get more into our guest today. And Miss Green, please tell us a little bit about not the things that you do, but the person of who you are, your characteristics.
Well, I personally give everything my characteristics from my mom, okay? My mom is the one who has taught me to be the strong woman that I am today. When I have a close relationship with her where I can go to her about anything. She's opened up that door for me where we can talk about from relationships to our faith to anything I have problems with in life. I can go to her immediately. And she comes back and tells me just real life stories that she's been through herself. It's honestly a blessing to have a mom like that, and I'm so grateful every single day. So she is the main reason why I am standing here today, why I have not given up on being in a male dominated industry. Because trust me, when I first decided I was going to do this, I said, "Oh," said, this is going to be really interesting and hard and challenging. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it." I went to her and she's like, it's okay. Like, you got this, and this is exactly why you're put here on this earth. So I would all to her. I would also all to God as well. It's the reason why I'm standing here.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I just heard a little snippet of a show yesterday, and the question the young lady asked the panel was, what do you say to someone who doesn't have a good relationship with their mom? I'm going to insert that question today to you because you said some things about your mom that everybody doesn't get to experience. So, what would you say to someone who has not yet experienced this type of relationship?
Um, Funny, like I've had like some friends of mine or some people in my life that I've just noticed have had those kind of relationships, and I've always been like, okay, well, at least try to have a relationship with her if you can. If not, then find someone that is a mom like figure for you. To be honest, anybody can be family. For us these days, we adopt friends as family, and that is our family. I got about 15 other sisters, okay, that I can call up on for anything, and brothers. But honestly, I would say if you can't build a relationship with your mom to that kind of level, or just to have
Mhm.
like some familiarity, to find somebody that you do consider a mom, and and the way that she nurtures you that way. That would be my honestly best advice.
That was great. I mean, I don't think that you would have given us a wrong answer because everybody will have a different take on that. And I'm glad that you said it the way you did. There is somebody out here who may not be your blood relative, but they'll be your family. they'll be there for you. They'll give you the nurturing. They'll even give you the, as what I call, the kick in the buttock sometimes. They say, hey, come on, you better than this, you know. And so I'm glad that you were able to say that. You know, it's okay if we need to reach out and have someone else be in that stead. So you just, when you said something about your mom though, that just now take away all questions about my next one. Was how do you stay balanced? I'm sure she has given you some wise counsel on staying balanced.
Ooh. Okay, well, it's gonna go with both of my parents because they both of them are on me about school, about anything else extracurriculars that I am doing. They know what my limits are, and they can see that, like, hey, you can't take this many classes while you're doing such and such. You can't do this while you're doing this. You got to stay home for the weekend. You got to, keep up with what you're already doing because you have a goal to set. So it's like, it's not even just my mom, it's both of my parents, my mom and my dad. They both keep me afloat and keep me on track. And also, like, I look up to my sister, and she's older. My older sister, she has her own business right now, and I think she's doing amazing. And I look up to her in so many ways. I'm just like, wow, like, my sister's a mom as well, and she all has her own business, and she's just doing it, and I'm like so proud of her. So I look up to her in that way. I'm like, okay, so you know what, my sister can do this. I need to figure out a way where I can also be, my own boss. And my dad, he's so proud of both of us. He's like, I never thought that both of my girls would be going the direction where we're entrepreneurs and building our own business. He's like, that's what I taught you guys to do. I'm just like, oh.
Wow. You know, it's wonderful when parents, when we see what we have did our best to instill and or impart into our children, they are actually doing it. That is priceless. No one can say, oh, well, this is how much this would cost. You can't put a price on that because that comes from love, and we can't put a price on love.
No.
So, when a parent gets to see that you love me enough to trust me and listen to me and at least try to agree with something of what I've said, it makes the parent feel wonderful. And we appreciate you as a child, as an adult child, because sometimes adult children don't always want to take the right advice from the right person, that person in that parenting role. But we got to start delving into, and we're going to take a little break, but we're going to come back, and then we want you to talk to us about your passion for music or the music industry. But we're going to be right back. You got a couple people on here watching you. I'm going to put their remarks up real soon, but we'll be right back.
Have you found yourself wondering, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Recognizing the stranger in the mirror is the book for you. It helps us to unravel the mystery of who you really are, revealing your life's passion and why you should unveil the real you to the world. We need you. You are valuable and necessary for those who are connected to you. Do not be afraid to peek in and discover all your gifts and talents to share. It's real freedom when we reveal our authenticity. Stacey Bullock is a 2-time best-selling author, transformational speaker, and host of Tools for Everyday Living TV show. She is committed to igniting resilience, personal transformation, and building life skills of her audiences and clients. The author of 2 previously written self-help books, Beaten Oil and Regain Power Through Resilience, Don't Let Your Brain Go Numb. Stacey imparts lessons that teaches readers to utilize their light as a guide for others, and discovering inner strength and resiliency to bounce back when life throws curveballs. Stacy may be reached for speaking engagements, leadership and employee training, and life skills coaching via her email at stacy@powerandresilience.com.
And just like that, we are back. Yes, Miss Green is still with us. So we were getting ready to talk about you being passionate about music or just the music industry. Let us in a little bit on that.
Um, I'll be the first to say that it has not been an easy journey. It's been one of the most difficult journeys that I've been on, and I'm both passionate about music and I'm also very much an advocate for the music industry, specifically for Black people and people of color in the music industry. So my journey really did start with friends that were taking me to their music studios and telling me, hey, you need to come, just hang out for a little bit. I'm just like, okay, so I did that, and then a couple other friends took me to open mics. It's very popular in LA to go to open mics and poetry nights, poetry events. That's where you mainly get the raw talent, the real talent, and you see, okay, what's everybody really about. And I did like a little spoken word. That was back then. Right now, I'm very much focused on graduating college right now. Um, but it's been a really long journey, and I'm happy that I'm still here. I will say that I still think that I'm a baby in this game. I'm so serious. I still think I'm very young and I don't really know a whole lot, but seeing as how like I put myself into NYU's online program to get a certificate in music industry essentials just to gain more knowledge on what I've already been learning hands-on. I'm like, okay, I can't be just learning it from other people. I need to actually learn the language, the
Mm-hmm.
lingo. I need
Mm-hmm.
to learn the vocabulary. I need to learn what exactly am I talking about when I am talking to these clients. So when I am talking to people that I want to represent, I need to know what I'm talking about. um,
Yes.
so
Yes. Did y'all
yes.
hear this, young lady? I want to make sure that you were heard clearly because you said in short words, you want to make sure you're good at what you do. And I heard when you were talking earlier about you not having the spirit of giving up. You always want to keep going. Your parents have instilled in you this resilience that you just say, you know what, I am going to find a way to keep going. And I think that is remarkable. If I could give you a high five through the screen, I definitely applaud you for being an example of somebody who's not going to give up, regardless of who dominates or who it looks like dominates the industry. Because sometimes we may not see everybody who is actually playing their role in the industry. But I want to give a little plug in here tonight for SWAM, spoken word art and music. Actually, I will be there tonight at 8 p.m. at the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Center, where there is spoken word tonight. Not just clapping for me, honey. You can show up anytime. You can show up anytime. I know the people will be receptive and wide open to hear what you have to say to us. So we found out, that you like music and you like this industry, but tell me some of the character traits that you believe that we need, not we, but someone, not because I'm not going in the music industry. Oh no. That was not for me. I'll stay in my lane. So, but tell us some of the character traits that you believe are necessary to be successful in this industry.
I always say this whenever I am looking for an artist because I do manage artists. I'll do an audit on your social media. I'll do an audit on your social media. So I'll look at your bio, see if you have anything that's substantial there, if you have any visuals that's on your page. I really do stress that you need to have not along with just pictures of yourself, but you need to have visuals of yourself so that we can see, okay, who are you? And you also need an artist website. I cannot tell you how many times I look at people, I want to know who they are. Okay, what are they about? I've never met you before, so I need to know who you are. It's really easy to create one. It doesn't have to be elaborate, extravagant. You need to have an artist website. And I also tell them, okay, also with that, can you send me some music of yours? Is it out? And then I've been around like music studios long enough, and my friends who are producers who have taught me that I can basically pick out certain things. Okay, maybe you need to come back and do this. Maybe come back and do this. Come back to me and will you fix this? So I've been able to do that and critique enough. I'm not rude. Trust me. If I think that you need a little bit more work, I will say it to you in a very professional way. That's just how people learn. Because I didn't learn the ropes this way. I had to be taught this, or I had to be just figure it out on my own, really. So I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but I will tell you straight up, okay, hey, you need to work on this a little bit more, and then come back to me. But I'm always someone who also likes to lend out opportunities. So anybody that knows me knows that if I see an opportunity out there that's for you, I'm gonna send it to you. And by God's grace, I just hope that it comes back to me tenfold. But like I don't expect or look for things to come my way. I just send it out to you. I'm like, hey, I think you're good for this. You're good for this. You're good for this. Let me help you out here. That's just who I am, and that's how I've always been.
Right. That's key what you said. That's just who I am. You are, because we have to be who we are in that lane. You have to be the person who can hear when something is not going to attract an audience. If why hire you if if that's not something that you're capable of doing, but not just capable of doing it, it is innate within you to hear something that may not go well, or hear something that is like, ooh, that one is going to be good. Let's do more of this. And so I'm excited to see you blossom and bloom in the industry. And I want to know, what is the impact that you feel a woman makes versus a man?
Oh, that's $1 million question right there. um, Honestly, the woman makes a majority of like the music industry. They have all the influence. We do. Like I really do see it. We make you push trends out, I believe. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that most people do not know, that there's music executives that are in corporate ladder. There are people that have made your top 10 songs that are my age. They're a woman. You probably would not even know. But just because they have more of like probably an ear for music, or the ear to see, okay, hey, this is marketable. That's the reason why I'm going into marketing myself, because on top of being able to be good at making music and being able to be good at making hit records, you need to be able to be marketable. That's just the key thing. It's business. That's just life. And I also realize that on the creative side, you also need to learn the music business side of music. Why are you getting into a career if you don't know the other half, which is papers, contracts, lawyers? You need to know all of that. I saw it alongside of the creative side. So I think that the women in this industry are phenomenal. I look up to them so much. And the people that are lyricists as well, I think they're amazing. I'm just like amazed.
Wow. This, you went much deeper than I thought. Well, because I'm a woman and a creative and a businesswoman, I heard probably things that you didn't say in words, but the part about being able to push something forward, being able to nurture something. And that's just not always putting your arm around and saying, oh, baby, it's going to be okay. No, that's also saying, no, this won't cut the mustard. This one we got to redo. But being able to say it with the love of a woman I think is the bonus as well. So that maybe we might have tapped into something here today. We might have answered that $1 million question. We'll put our Cash App on here at the end. I'm just joking,
Oh,
but
trust me,
we
I've
you
had people that would it really has not been easy. Like I've had people just because you are a woman and because I'm small and I am very
Mhm.
small in stature, I might not look like okay, she doesn't know what she's doing. And I have to like remember, okay, I have a voice. I need to use it, not in a condescending way, but in a way like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I do know what I'm talking about. And a lot of men, they take it in a way of like, okay, just brush her off. Or, what, we have somebody else that's do it for you. I'm like, okay, you know what, you're gonna see it. And I'll just do something like on the side and be like, oh, who did that? I was like, oh, I did. You weren't checking for me before though, but now you check for me now. No, it's too late.
Right. See, I'm a little older than you, so I'm coming up in the era when they said, now I'm hot, they all on me.
Yes. Same exact thing.
Right. Right. And so it's like, well, wait a minute. I've been doing this and I told you I knew how to do it. But sometimes people are what do I want to say? They need to see it to believe it, not just hear that you say you can. And with women, I believe that because a man cannot do this, we are able to create and bring it forward and show you, give you tangible evidence that I had life in me. And so here we are bringing forth the tangible evidence to bring life to somebody else. And you mentioned earlier that you do have some role models. Give us a couple. And we got a couple of more minutes. I think I might take a break. I think I might, but a couple more minutes. And who are your role models outside of your mom in the music industry? But could be your mom too.
I mean, she is in the music industry. She's more like huge in entertainment. Issa Rae. I look up to her so much because she's born and raised from Inglewood, just like myself. She started on YouTube as well, and she did not take no for an answer when she went to producers trying to pitch a script. She made it her own. She made it herself, and I think that is one way I'm just like, okay, I have to work with her. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know by God's grace, but I'm gonna work with her. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to say Issa Rae, Queen Latifah for sure, UNITY. I play it. Okay, I'm an oldies. I don't care. My mom raised me up that way, but that was an amazing video.
You know what? I got to interject here because when I was making some of the advertisement on social media for this show, I actually used Queen Latifah UNITY. And I'm so happy you said that because we talked earlier that it would be a good show and that everything is going to go well. And here we are, just lined up with something that we weren't even really aware that we were lined up with. So I'm glad you brought it up. But we are going to take a little break and we're going to come back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about, so tell us what sparked you wanting to be in an industry that somebody would tell you that you couldn't. You tell us that when we come back.
I'm Stacey Bullock, and I'm committed to waking your power to bounce back quickly from life's challenges. I've learned there is power in resilience. There was a point in my life when I closely identified with the Sade song, Soldier of Love. Mostly what I identified with was the part that says, I've lost the use of my heart, but I'm still alive. Doubt, disappointment, rejection, it left a stain on my soul. But that's the place where our determination lives. And that's the place where we have to dig in and find resilience so that we can bounce back. I have taken all of that disappointment and despair, and now I use it as a catalyst. It has become my energy to fight, to become a better, a stronger human being every day. Why do I do this? 2 reasons. So I can help you understand that you can become better, and that you can become stronger, and then you can survive any situation. The second reason is because I was born to do it. I am a transformational speaker who can help you know that there is power after pain.
Every day, living tools for every day, living tools for every day, living every day, living tools for every day,
And just like that, we're back. So before we left, we were getting ready to talk to Alexis about what made her want to be in an industry that most would tell her that she wouldn't be able to get it accomplished. So tell us about that.
I really think that it was just me. I think my love really came from me being in the studio and me seeing the groundwork of the actual how beats were being made. And I just fell in love with it. I really did. I love the whole process of it. I mainly love jazz, and when instrumentalists put or producers put jazz beats over rapping, and it's just amazing. I love saxophone, so a lot of my influence and my music taste will come from R&B, neo soul, alternative music, hip hop, rap, and mainly jazz. But I want to say mainly jazz. I've been going to jazz concerts since I was 3 years old, and that's very peaceful. It's a very peaceful music. um, so smooth jazz, I feel like, has been like the groundwork, and I also would give that to my parents once again, because they're the main factor on why I've been so many different things. But my whole entire family is like very much creative. So
Mm,
yeah, I do have like
okay.
some like what is it? Some celebrities that are in my family. So already that I just coming to find out, just talking to a grandparents, I'm just like, I had no idea. They're like, yeah, back in the Temptations. I said, oh, this is interesting. This is cool. Okay, so I was destined to do this. Okay. um,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I love it. I love it. You were destined to be this, that, and when you know that, people, please listen. Listen closely. When you know that, when you can say, "Oh, I'm destined to be this," and actually, I don't even know if you realize the body language that you have when you say that. It's such a confidence in I'm who I am. I'm just me. And it's okay. And I love the process of I wrote that down that you love the process of making beats. That most people don't want the process. We just want the end result. So listen clearly, people, that we must go through a process to get the end result. It's inevitable. Fall in love with the process. I've been hearing that a lot here lately too, that if we fall in love with the process, then it's not really something that is going to make us feel like, oh, I don't want to do that, make us feel defeated. It will actually give us life. I said the other day, I was watching a video and I said, well, how did this individual even know to do that? And the thought that came to me was that purpose knows what you're supposed to do. Purpose knows who you are. And when we catch up with it and understand and know, shoot, there's no stopping us. There is no stopping us. And because I know there's no stopping you, give us some of the marketing accomplishments that you've done, or, when you figured that you need to add on something. That's called growth, in my opinion. Why would you add on to something that you're already doing?
But I'll say this: when I was first starting out in 20, like the end of 2020, yeah, the end of 2020, when I was first starting out, I realized, okay, so if I really want to do, let me try to get some internships since I was still at community college at the time. I'm at Santa Monica College, so I said, okay, let me figure it out. I applied multiple times to Warner Music. I didn't hear anything back. So I'm like, okay, pivot. So I created my own internships. And a lot of people, when I say this to interviewers, they're very impressed because, to be quite honest, who's going to be checking the people who that you work for? So I created my own. I said, okay, hey friend, like, do you need any help with like marketing? Do you need help with social media? Like, yeah, sure. So I did that for consecutively for like, I want to say a couple of months. And then I ended up getting a job as a digital marketing manager working for a friend. And that turned into being his artist manager. And that's really where I was thrown into 10 different titles at once. So I was not just the artist manager, but I was the creative director. I was the executive producer. I was the social media manager. I was so many things all in one, and I just had to roll with it. You had to roll with it, go with it, learn it on the fly, immediately, quickly, and it has.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
think those skills I adapted.
life is going to do that to you, and you have a great foundation, first of all, to be able to take on that many responsibilities. And did it feel like you were being responsible for all those areas, or when you just stopped and thought about it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I had all of this.
Um, no, a lot of the time, I will be very honest. I had to ask the person I was working for. I said, "Hey, am I doing this right? And this is okay." And the person was teaching me a lot. So
Hmm.
I give partially of what I am doing to this person. But
Hmm.
I want to say, like, on the record, like, I've pushed myself to learn even more by going to school, by going and getting a certificate. But partially, part of that was like, okay, asking him questions like, "Hey, am I doing this right? Is this okay? Let me learn some more." And then taking my education on even further to saying, okay, let me
Hmm.
figure
Hmm.
out when I got my bachelor's degree, what did I want to do? And this was a funny story, but I did because I changed my bachelor's degree for communications. It was just communications, and then I was like, okay, what are the women in my industry doing? And I
Hmm.
saw a video, I want to say, on TikTok, and it was just very
Hmm.
like, okay, Black women in the industry, or women in the industry that didn't have a traditional job. They were like pharmacists or doctors or psychologists, and they pivoted into the music industry. I'm just like, okay, wow, this is pretty kind of interesting. Okay, what do they do now? Their whole
Hmm.
entire resume was just advertising, PR, creative, all these other industry degrees that people got. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and get into this degree. And I found the one school, and I was just so irritated during my whole entire process of applying for colleges. The one
Hmm.
school that had both at the same time where I could do it was Cal State Dominguez Hills. All these other Cal States,
Hmm.
I had to choose between advertising or PR. Oh, hey, you can take advertising classes, but you have to like space out the PR classes. You can get a minor. And I'm like, no, I want to do advertising and PR as a major. And this was the only school that had it, which was very shocking. And the only school that was affordable, by the way. So I
But
am
look at
blessed.
your determination. Your determination kept you going, that it would manifest, that you would have what you want. Keep going. Keep going.
Is yeah. So I'm proud to say like my education I'm getting at Cal State Dominguez Hills, it doesn't really feel like where I was when I was taking my GE classes. I did not want to take GE classes. Trust me, I'm a 7-year graduate. I will say that confidently because I was messing around trying to like, okay, I don't really want to do this. I want to get into some major classes, but now I'm actually here. It's so much
Mm-hmm.
fun. I don't even feel like it's class to me because it's something that I really, really love doing.
See?
I'm learning so much, and I realized during my classes, okay, I actually want to go into international marketing. Let me tap into that market, see what
Mm-hmm.
products are there. And I realized, okay, I have friends that are in Europe, London, Atlanta, even like all over. Okay, let me figure out how can I help them. So that's where my whole entire, I guess, core comes from, and that also, I guess, I guess it pushes me into my next goal, which is to get my MBA. So like if anybody who does know me from high school, they've always known, okay, Alexis, she's gonna probably go into the entertainment industry. I'm gonna get my MBA, get my bachelor's degree, and then I'm gonna get my MBA. I've always said I just didn't know what exactly I was going to do in entertainment, but I figured it out. And my next step is to get my MBA. And you best believe I'm going to get it.
Did you hear what you said? You figured it out. People, if we just keep asking questions, all that I've heard you say is you kept growing and growing and growing with each step. I want this. I want this. I got to do this to get this. I'm going to do it. Never saying, I'm not going to be able to do this. Maybe, yes, having those moments of this is tough. This is hard. But still saying, I'm going to do this regardless of whether it is how hard it is. I can see the finish line. You told us, you just said you have found women, Black women, who are in these positions, and they started out doing something totally opposite. They started out doing something that sounded like something they felt like would make them money. But would it just make you money, or would it make you happy? Would it make you feel fulfilled? Would it make you keep going? Would it make you do what Miss Alexis did when she said, I got to keep digging for the school? Something was telling you on the inside that this school is there. The education is there. You see,
she's alumni from there.
Listen to your mothers, people. Listen to your moms and dads. They got some good stuff to tell you. But we're going to have to do like I was talking about earlier and take some of those words that might sound like, oh, they're wonderful and great, but they have this negative sting to it. Let's just use all positive words. I'm going to do it. This is tough, but I'm going to get it done. I'm going to figure it out. Alexis, we have some more time, and I need you to tell us about Honey Pro Production. I want to make sure I get it right. You say it.
It's Honey Pro Records. It's
Honey Pro Records. Yes.
So, Honey Pro Records is actually my music production company, and it's been a 5-year plan. I haven't even launched this. Very funny story how it actually got launched, because it was by mistake. I'm so serious. It was by mistake that it got launched on social media. So I've had notes written up for maybe 5 years of what I was going to do. I was trying to figure it out. I was just researching just a lot of what I want to do and what kind of business that I wanted. And then I want to say last year, 2022, my personal Instagram, it got hacked. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead. I got to create this business page. So that's really how it started. So I look at that as a blessing in disguise, because it forced me to push myself to just do it. Like, you know what? And I will say that now I am in school. I have been slacking on building up the page, because my focus has just been graduating, because I will be a graduate in 2024 May. I'm very excited about it. So that's all my focus has been on. And I think that for me right now, it would be a lot to take on trying to grow a business while taking 5 classes. And I also have an internship with C3 Management. It's underneath of Live Nation. I am their artist management intern. So I think just all of that combined, it would be a lot to do for me right now. I know my limits, but I've gotten requests for the past couple of years, like, hey, can you manage me? Hey, can you check out this music? Can you check out this? And I don't turn anyone away. I will always give you advice. I'll say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm on school. Everybody know that I talk to you. I'm in school. I have a goal. So everybody know this about me. But hey, let me go ahead and give you some advice. Let's go ahead and have a coffee date. Let me check out what you got. This amount of time I can give for you. Then after that, I got to get back to my studies. Yeah.
Staying focused. Turn my mic on when I talk, right? Staying focused. I am so glad to have met you. I mean, you are such a inspiration, not just inspiration, because I sometimes don't like certain words like inspiration or motivation for that matter. I like the word transformation because that means that my mind has changed. And when my mind changes, that means that all of me follows along with it. And the things that you have given to us today have, for me, been transforming. And I know that there's somebody out here listening and saying, yeah, she said some things that have transformed me as well, and they may have a couple more questions. I know I do. So I'm going to ask another question, because you mentioned music and marketing, but how do you combine the two?
Um, that's a very good question. So, some of the ways that I have been learning on how to combine the two is that you have a social media campaign or a campaign that you can set up when you are putting out music. Things that I have learned is that when you are scheduled to put out music, I guess say in December, you want to make sure that you are releasing or submitting your music to art what is it A&R like what is it A&R recorders and people that are going to be writing write-ups about your music. You want to send them out 3 weeks ahead of schedule, just so
Mm,
that they can listen to your music, see what it's all about, and really get to know about your stuff. And they do want to do an interview, they can interview you right then and there. And when your music drops, that's when their article or their interview drops about you. So that's one way that you can market yourself. Another way is, I always say this, you need to have visuals. So you need to have money saved up so that you can hire a videographer, you can hire a photographer, you can hire a studio, so that you can get the angles that you want, you can get the clothing that you want that best represents you. And being an artist is all about putting yourself forward, putting your best self forward. In the raw light, you have no idea what the outcome is going to be. That's just the fun of it. And try to, throughout all this, I know there's trends that are going on, I really do understand, but try to be yourself, please. It shows a lot more. I see so many people that are just been themselves, and people are just like, oh wow, where did this person come from? You not even knowing that they've been working on this for 5 years, and they just now doing a breakout star on this fifth year hits. That's because they've been
mhm,
non-consistent stopping. And
mhm.
I hate when people put age on music as well. It does not matter when you start. It does not matter when you hit, or when you finally excel. You can be 30 and you are excel. You can be 40, you excel. You can be 20, you excel. It does not matter. Please keep going. Do not get discouraged. That's just really what I want to say.
Wow, that right there. I mean, if we was at church, we could put the offering plate out now and say, call it a day. Don't quit. Do not give up. Have a plan. We talk, this is called tools for everyday living. I just took it right from Miss Alexis Green as how she has been expressing to us today on not just the role of a Black woman in the industry, but having a role in this industry. You have to have a plan. You have to have a spirit of not giving up. You have to want to continue. You have to believe that this is who you are. Like, I show up here every Friday, even when it's a rerun. I'm still the one had to say, okay, well, let's do this show as a rerun. Still had to show up. We all have to show up in our lanes. I got one more question.
Yes.
As a Black woman, how do you see us in this industry coming? Maybe we don't need to come from behind the scenes, but if we just come from behind the scenes and show up, what does that look like in 10 years?
Oh my goodness. In 10 years as a Black woman, I really do see us. That's a good question. Let me see. I really do see us on the forefront of social action issues. I really do see us on the forefront of representing what we owe. So there's a lot of things that's going on in the music industry where the pay is not right. I do see us in the forefront of behind that issue. I see us in the forefront of just being in those higher level titles and positions, just so that we can get more of our own people in, and just so we can educate more of our own younger women in. So like I've taken those skills just because of the fact that I am in a community service like organization on campus. It's called Sisters United, and we're basically a mentorship for Black women on college campus. So I am their social media manager. I'm also their community engagement director. So I always say to like the freshmen or the young girls that come on, like, hey, come out to our event. We're gonna have a sisterhood event. It's no, don't think of it as like, oh my gosh, I have to be the certain way. Like, no, come as you are. We're here to talk about whatever issues you are having. If we don't have something, we can find it for you. So that's really where I see us implementing that same exact process and same exact tools into where we are 10 years in. Okay, hey, do you have anything that's going on? Did something happen to you in this space? Because I cannot tell you, if you are a Black woman, it is very intimidating to be in the spaces where it's mainly men, and you need to have like family behind you. You need to have friends behind you that are watching your back, because I cannot tell you how many times I'll be like, hey, brother, I'm going such and such. She's like, all right, you need to text me the place you're going to, the location you're going to, let me know where it is, because it's important.
Yes, definitely. I saw something the other day that said that as women we need to have our brothers, not and doesn't mean that that's a biological brother, but have the spirit of brotherhood, um, something that is given to us, that is as expressed to us, that they're there for us, as the person said, well, text me and let me know that you're here when you're supposed to be, and those kind of things. We need that as a collaborative of human beings, but especially as the Black woman. Because we have been looked upon as I said earlier, you know the strong Black woman. We're fierce, but these words have these weighty conditions attached to them, and it's necessary for us to always look at ourselves and start to ask the questions. And when we find, especially when we find ourselves in industries that are predominantly male dominated, we have to ask ourselves the questions that now produce in us the believability that we can get this accomplished. Because if we don't ask questions and we just keep saying, "Oh, I'm strong, my Black don't crack," which to me says you always got to stand up in the face of adversity without the proper tools.
Yes.
Just being a Black woman is not the proper tool to stand up to some things that life wants to throw at us. We have to make sure that we, as you've been expressing to us so well as a young person, I give kudos to your parents,
Oh,
because
thank you.
they have, like I said, instilled in you a foundation that you were free to ask the questions, just even if they were only within yourself. Who am I? You began to embark in an industry that you liked. So you said, what can I do to get better? That's a question, people. That's a tool. Ask yourself, what can I do to make myself better at who it is that I am, that I believe that I am? Not just, well, they said I should be. No, let's start using our developing questioning skills to now build who we are, like you're doing, Alexis. You are building your um, empire, if you will.
Oh,
And starting, yeah, because when you're in it and you're building, you building from the inside and the stuff is going up, you can't really see how big it's getting. It's those of us on the outside that can see, wow. So how does that make you feel? And when you answer that question, tell us how the people can find you as well. How does it make you feel that when people see you, they see greatness?
oh. I'll probably say that because I'm like, I mean, I still see myself as I'm still in the beginning, but I guess just me just hearing myself speak, and I'm always impressed every single time. It just comes a second nature, and I'm like, okay, I'll put into action what
Mm.
I need help with or what to do. I was always impressed. Um, I mean, I don't. Oh my gosh. I would like to say that my foundation, once again, it's always going to go back to God. It's always going to go back to my parents for building that foundation for me and instilling in me confidence, because it took a long time to grow my confidence, and then for something to happen and your confidence is off track, and then you have to build it up again and off track and build it up again. That takes a lot of work, and I am
Mhm.
very proud of myself to say that I have the tools to keep going, keep pushing myself. That's really how I'm staying afloat.
Just
um,
okay. Well, tell us real quick how to reach you on social media or how you prefer to be reached.
Oh, yes, of course. You can reach me on social media on all social handles. It does not matter. At It's Alexis Anna. So that's ITSALEXISANNA. And then you can reach my business page, Honey Pro Records, at Honey Pro Records. So HONEYPRORECORDS, Honey Pro Records. That's on
Awesome.
everything.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you. We'll see you all next Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remember, always be awesome.